Everybody is pushing for a clean energy transition right now. Utilities are promising there'll be net zero. And underlying, they're pushing more and more electrification. More EVs are getting adopted. At the same time, more renewables are penetrating into the grid. Or I'm talking rooftop solar, for example. And eventually what people are imagining is like some of these people with EVs, they'll have battery storage and they're going to put that back into the grid. So previously, the solution was simple. All that power was being generated in like a giant power plant. You push it out, and then somebody was consuming on the other hand. But now, if you think about it, consumers and generators, people who are generating power, they are all sitting all over the place, right? So in other words, the previous paradigm that the utilities had, like, hey, I'll deal with the consumers separately, is going to break down because the consumers are going to become embedded into the grid. Right? Both in terms of generation, both in terms of storage. So you really need to think about both of these pieces coming together, which kind of brings me to the flywheel. So in our flywheel, the way we describe it, there's three pieces. We talk about customer engagement, we talk about grid planning, and we talk about load shifting. So customer engagement is all about keeping customers happy. Utilities are being rated by that CSAT score and how the customer experience is. But as I mentioned, with more and more of these customers using EVs, more of these customers generating power, you need to start thinking about taking that customer data and figuring out where is the power being generated, where is the consumption high. You have to look at the meter level, home level consumption data and generation data to plan your grid. You can be intelligent in terms of figuring out where the load is coming, who is generating more power with solar. But beyond that, you can also be intelligent in terms of just behaviorally encouraging people like, hey, don't charge your EV at this time because it's stressing out the grid, give them some incentives. But this is a flywheel because knowing where your customers are, what products they have, tells you where the grid is going to get stressed out, at the granular fine-grained level, right? Not at a high level, but at the fine-grained level. And that in turn tells you where you have to encourage customers to shift load. But remember, these customers will agree to shift load only if you have a good relationship with them, which kind of like feeds back into the customer engagement. And you have to think of this as a flywheel going forward.